Ant's just on his phone, not paying attention to what we're doing.
Yo. We're about to record episode 10, which is kind of crazy.
Can't take this guy fucking anywhere.
So, look how convenient this pocket is. I could literally slide my phone. I could slide a beer. I could slide.
I feel like I'd be in a
iPad.
situation. I know. I feel like one, that would annoy me because it's like banging against my shin. But two, I would like be in some sort of position where just whatever's in there falls out. Yeah. But I will say, like, you know, you ever go into like a music venue and they pat you down like old school?
Oh,
they never touch your shins.
I know, they never touch your shins, right?
Maybe I'll just start taping shit to my shins. Like when trying to snake little airplane bottles into a music venue because the prices are ridiculous.
Bro, actually, during the Super Bowl parade, I put a couple of beers in here. It was amazing. I didn't have to go.
Wait, that's a new workout thing.
Right.
It's like ankle weights, but
right, for your shins.
But beers. Hi.
And we're back. Wait, cue theme song.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we're back. Episode 10. I can't believe.
Episode 10.
Yeah.
That needs applause.
Oh, yeah, it does need applause. Yes.
We made it through 10 episodes that have actually been edited and shown. That's the big deal for us, I think.
It's actually 25 episodes we've recorded, but hey, no one needs to know that.
I actually found some of them because we were talking about it in one of the last episodes.
Yeah.
It looks terrible and no one's ever going to see them.
And also,
content was good.
Right. Let us know in the comments, guys. What do you think about the new lighting setup? I think we've perfected it. And I personally think it looks really good.
I was going to say, by the way, I changed the lighting setup again.
We've had about 5 to 10 different types of lighting setups, but
lighting setups, stage setups, audio setups. I think this one's going to look good. A little more professional.
And honestly, like, if you want to start a podcast, ask us because we will give you everything not to do.
Don't assume you know how to do video because you're
a photographer.
Good at photography.
Right.
It's not the same. Shout out to all my videographers out there.
For real. So yeah, we just did a little magic there. I moved the mic a little closer. And that's another thing too, is like we don't really know like what's good until the actual it's actually recorded.
And then both of us rely way too much on other people's opinions to
right.
It's fine. Imposter syndrome's a real thing. So I know we talked about getting a bottled Dom, and I said, hey, Ant, bring champagne for the 10th episode. And so I guess we're going with Martini and Rossi.
Yes, sir.
Dom.
Let's pop this baby, yeah?
I thought you were rich, bro. So Maggie and I went to Paris for our 10th anniversary back in April of last year.
Yeah.
And we did a champagne tour in Champagne.
Oh.
Which was pretty dope.
Do they make champagne in Champagne?
It's only allowed to be called champagne if it comes from Champagne, which I always thought was kind of weird, but
okay.
I learned a lot of things. Like they have actual laws about when different parts of the champagne process can be added, how much of certain things can be in it. He's always asking about trash cans up here. I think we just figured out how we can fix that situation. Like that thing you're doing right now.
Yeah.
Every single bottle of champagne, 6 turns to get it open.
6
They're
exact
all
turns.
They're all the same.
Oh, wow.
Which I never
Was
knew
that 6
about.
turns there?
I mean, I wasn't counting, but I'm going to say yes because that's what they told me.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
do you know how to do this the right way so you don't fire that off in my studio? Give me the bottle.
Simon always thinks every time I come to the studio, I'm just going to simply destroy it.
Yes. So, for everyone who wants to know, you hold the cork and you turn the bottle. And the idea is to not make a loud popping sound. Let's see how I do. Hold on. Should be a gentle hiss.
Ooh, not bad.
Give that a 6 out of 10.
I think that still deserves a round of applause.
Oh,
from
yes,
Simon.
round of applause. Yes, thank you.
There we go. There we go.
Thank you, everyone. Okay.
Now, yes, he can open a bottle of champagne, but can he pour a good glass? Let's see. Simon said no one can pour champagne correctly. That actually is pretty good. I'm impressed. You got to show the camera after that. Now that is a hefty ass glass of champagne. God damn.
I think I have like
Look at
PTSD.
this.
I think I have PTSD from all the champagne tower mishaps that I've seen in our careers.
Oh man,
Actually, you know what the hardest thing to pour is, in my opinion?
beer.
Harder than beer. Cold Diet Coke over ice. Ask any bartender.
Oh yes,
Especially like event bartenders. Because I usually go up and ask for like a Diet Coke when I'm working. And just like they can make like between the time it takes to put the first half in, they can make like 3 drinks for other people before they pour the rest in.
That's actually a great point.
Actually, the trick is here's the trick. You go up and you order a Diet Coke and you order whatever alcoholic drink you want. So when they question you, like I can't give you alcohol, I'm like, you just tell them it's for it's for the groom.
Yeah.
Diet Coke's for me.
Exactly.
Tips and tricks with Simon.
Right. Or what if you like poured the Diet Coke first and then you put the ice in after? Is that crazy?
I feel like you would have overflow problems, like if you misjudge the amount of, or like, I don't know, that's a good question. Can someone do that at home and tell us how it works? My initial thought would be that it would be like a Diet Coke and Mentos situation where like the Diet Coke is good and then you put the ice in and then it starts fizzing and then it gets everywhere.
That could be a thing.
Yeah. Also, I'm just going to comment and then we're going to leave it alone that I'm about to put this bottle down, and you may notice that there's, in addition to Ant's Q3 that we discussed previously, there's another Q3 on the table. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah. We'll talk about that.
Ooh, I have another thing to celebrate.
Here we go. Actually, I already know what you're going to say.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
But let's cheers first.
Cheers, buddy. Happy 10th
Cheers,
episode.
man. Let's see how it tastes.
The other thing I learned,
So good.
the other thing I learned on the champagne tour, I don't like champagne.
Really? Why?
It's not that I don't like champagne. I cannot taste any, like they say you can't taste past the bubbles, the carbonation. That's really what it is. Even nice champagne that we tried, I'm like, this tastes good, but like I could never tell the difference between this and like the cheap shit. This I can tell because it's very sweet.
Yeah, it's
but
very
it's
sweet.
But yeah, I can't, like wine, especially like red wine. Like I can get flavors and stuff from that and different
for
things,
sure.
but champagne I can't.
Yeah.
But anyway, can we celebrate the other thing?
I mean, yeah, you got to get that round of applause going.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I wish we had a drum roll, but we don't. I just delivered my last wedding of 2024. Thank you.
Hey, cheers to you, brother.
I feel like every single episode, since episode 1, all I've been saying is, I'm so behind on editing. I got to catch up. I'm going to catch up this week, and then I don't, and then I just say that. So I just delivered the last one.
But to give people preference, too, that aren't like your clients, like Simon does allow himself, I think, 12 weeks to deliver a gallery?
Contractually, yes, I put
There you
12
go.
weeks.
Okay.
But I was hoping that would be like a oh shit situation, not a I'm gonna wait till the last second.
Yeah.
But I think my biggest problem, and I'm curious if you have this issue, is that when I sit down to edit, my email's right there too, right? And a lot of the times,
Get distracted.
Well, yeah, you get a notification, and I want to see who because I try to get back to people as soon as possible,
Especially an inquiry. I mean, you have a limited amount of time to respond.
Yeah, and so I'll do that. But that happens every like 10 minutes. And then sometimes it's something that's not necessarily urgent, but it's involved.
Yeah.
And it's, an album, something with an album, something
Sure.
with someone needs a COI,
Sure.
Which is proof of insurance for all of you non-somethings. But it's super distracting.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you don't like this, but what I started doing was getting I got a second line. So like a second phone number, and that is dedicated directly just for my clients. So if I don't
Give them your phone number.
see, yes, they have my phone number, and at one point I was sharing my personal number with them.
Okay, no, that makes sense.
And I was like, you know what, this is just not healthy for my mental health.
Yeah.
And I gave him a second number.
Do you communicate through text with your clients?
Yeah. Because it seems like sometimes if they need something quickly answered, like for example, I have a client who their wedding's like 4 months away, but like I told them, I said, hey, close to like the 3-month mark is when we'll start to actually start planning your wedding. But she was like, hey, I just have a quick question from my makeup artist. And she didn't want to send it in an email. She was like, can I just ask you something real quick?
Do you set limits as far as like the times you will have that number active or the times you will answer that number?
Yeah. So usually the cutoff is like 8 p.m.
Okay.
So I stopped answering texts.
It's actually funny you said that. I sort of did the opposite thing because I think the way you're doing it is good. I generally, and I did realize that all of my clients do have my phone number because we generally do FaceTime for the first call, which is my phone number. So,
Yeah.
But I like to do everything in email just so I have a record of everything. But I guess if you're texting, like you still have like receipts.
Yeah.
But I actually did the opposite thing. I had, which I found, which I had no idea. I used to have the iPhone 13 mini. Remember that little tiny guy?
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how easy it is to basically take your number from one phone and just turn on the other
Transfer
phone
it,
with it.
yeah.
Yeah, it takes 2 seconds now. You just like double tap one button and it goes to the other one. It takes a minute.
Yeah.
That phone now has no social media.
That's nice.
No email, including my personal one. And I thought about getting like a flip phone or something like that, which people do. And like they'll use it on the weekend or the days when they're not working or they want to spend time with their kids or whatever. The problem with that is you can't do iMessage. I am a victim of the revolution of MapQuest and I can't get anywhere without my Maps application. And like banking and stuff that you kind of sort of have to have
on a daily basis, right?
So, but it's basically like as close to a dumb phone as you can get. It's just, you know,
It's good though. It helps you like disconnect.
I looked at
that.
I looked at my screen time situation. It wasn't good.
It's not
it was
healthy.
not good. I'm like, it was like 13 something hours a day. Yeah. And I'm like, how is that even physically possible?
Oh man.
So, but
So
yeah.
something a little off topic. So as you guys know, we've been uploading these episodes to YouTube. So we're in the process of uploading all these episodes as well to Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, so that way you guys have different platforms to use. Just know that, like, you know, Simon and I still have full-time businesses and it's a challenge to get all this audio on these platforms. So we're trying our best, but probably within, you know, the next couple of weeks, we should have all that figured out and sorted. So
I've gotten a couple of people who asked where they can listen to it.
Yeah.
And what I've just been telling them is like, you can put it on YouTube and just lock your phone and it'll be listening. But like, we want to get everything on those platforms. But I had a question for you actually, which while I was editing my last wedding, I was also simultaneously going through the process. I realized that our Instagram goes back to, I think 2016. Okay. Like we just never took stuff off of it, you know? And I realized like, and I look back at those photos and our style has changed enough that I don't ever think clients are going to sort of go on and scroll that far back.
They might.
But they might, and they might not be informed of like the process of this was 9 years ago. Like our style has changed, our experiences have changed. So I was just sort of in the process of getting rid of some of that stuff, or at least taking out stuff that doesn't look like our photos anymore.
Sure.
And I saw there's like, I went through a phase of what I would consider to be sort of extreme editing, a little heavy-handed, should we say?
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it. There's a bunch of like trends that I remember seeing. And I think the overarching thing with all of them is that they're like very heavy-handed edits. And I was wondering what you think about like some of those trends that have died off and why.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, one of those biggest trends that I saw that actually has helped my business was photographers that would basically make like a couple that maybe is black and white, make them look orange, right? Their skin tones, at least.
Magda and I used to call it the UPS edit. What can brown do for you? Apparently, it can make you a wedding photographer. Yeah.
But I actually, in the beginning of my business, I would actually have couples reach out to me and say, hey, we keep seeing this trend of like, you know, the way photographers are editing these couples. And I just want a photographer that won't use that'll just make us look natural. And that really, really helped my business because that's kind of how I edit. I make my couples look true to life. Like their skin tones look how they look in real life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's definitely a trend that I'm happy has sort of faded away. But I think there's still photographers out there that still do that.
There are. And like we talked about in another episode, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say that's wrong because clearly if they're working, people are liking it or people just don't know any better or don't care, which is
all subjective.
All subjective, right? Totally fine. The one I jumped at was, and this might just be because I'm off Facebook now, because this is where I would see it the most, but like Megan and I used to call it dude photography, which is completely sexist, and I apologize. But it's, I would find the majority of people that shot like this were guys, and it was like the super off camera flashy thing. And it was so funny to me. It's like setting up like 8 lights. It's this crazy look, and the couple's like this big and they're silhouetted. And my thing was always just sort of like, who's that photo really for?
Right.
Is that for the couple because they think it's cool, or they think it shows their wedding day like it really was, or reminds them of their wedding? Or is it to post on Speakeasy and say, hey, look at me?
Sure. Yeah, man. And, you know, at the end of the day, kind of like what we said in one of our previous episodes, it really is all subjective.
Right.
Who am I to say that that's wrong or it's right? At the end of the day, if a couple likes how that photographer edits in any type of style, kudos to them, but that's not necessarily how I would approach it. And that's not how I feel people should edit.
Would you consider the way you edit to be stylized in any way?
Not necessarily. I just think, I mean, if you want to call true to tone a style, sure. But I mean, when you take a photo, I feel like you should like deliver what you deliver as what you see in camera, if that makes sense.
Do you have any,
At least for weddings.
Oh, I agree. Do you have any tips? Because the thing I realized going back in our Instagram looking is like photo to photo things were not consistent, and I bet you money that even within a gallery, stuff was looking different photo to photo.
Oh yeah.
Do you have? I just started doing this, but I'm curious if you have any tips or tricks. How do you keep your full gallery consistent?
Consistent?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I do is like it all starts on the actual wedding day, right? I am pretty strategic with how I set up my lights on the dance floor so that I know at any angle that I shoot at, the light will be consistent. So whenever I feel like I have a really, really good shot in terms of lighting, I will use that as the anchor image, and then I'll sync all of the reception photos to that anchor image.
Nice.
And usually most of the time, they all turn out to be the same type of exposure, same saturation. So that's sort of how I take my approach. And you know, other photographers do it different because some photographers don't even use off-camera flash. They use direct flash, which which is actually probably easier to edit because most of the photos will all look the same.
Actually,
already.
new cheat code that we're doing.
Yeah.
These lights that are behind us right now, I'm actually using those at weddings now for
Video
all
lights.
Just video lights.
Yeah.
I use flash for
You use
dancing.
grid on? No, you use the grids on them.
No,
right? Oh, okay.
bare bulb.
Bare bulb.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice.
And I'll talk more about this at some point, but Magda and I are actually teaching a workshop
nice.
in a couple months at Unique, all about elevating your reception lighting.
Hey.
So we're going to talk about it. But anyway, I've been doing the same thing, and I don't know why I didn't do this before, because my usual thing was I would edit the whole gallery and then go into the library, like grid view, and sort of zoom out on the grid and just sort of look through and make sure everything color-wise looked similar.
Sure.
I would find something like, oh, these are warmer, and I would go in and sort of, but what I do now is I find I do this through like the whole gallery, like 1 or 2 of my absolute favorite looking images from that one, as far as color goes, as far as the vibe. And I'll keep that in what's called reference view. So you can see one photo, and as you cycle through the other ones, they'll just come up on one side too. And then I just basically will edit off of that one image. Even if the lighting is not the same, I try to make sort of like the colors look similar, the white balance especially.
Oh, yeah.
But that's been like super helpful to me. I
Nice.
feel like I've been delivering more consistent galleries.
So I just thought of something that I forgot to mention to you prior to us talking today.
Ooh, I love it.
This might actually throw you for a quick loop.
Oh shit. Okay.
So we were just talking about delivering galleries. So I recently came across a Instagram post by an Instagram feed called Philly in Love. Have you ever heard of them?
I think I have actually.
Okay. So they usually post like new couples in the area that just got engaged. They'll usually tag the photographer and like just celebrate their love. And they recently posted a photographer, I believe her name is Christina Garcia, and her Instagram is like I would have to pull it up, but it's like Wandering Lust, something like that. And apparently, so she's like in the South Jersey area.
Okay.
She has been scamming like close to 40 to 50 couples in the last year.
I am very aware of this. The drama has been real.
Yeah, and what's even crazy is there's like I think 20 to 30 different lawsuits on her business, and she recently posted on her Instagram that she's putting together all these edits and trying to send them out as quickly as possible. I posted on her Instagram and I said, because there was like 100 comments on there. I just stated, I want all of you to realize that this is not the industry standard and that people in this industry, especially wedding photographers, we don't scam our clients and don't let her be a representation of what we do. And then after that, I got an email from the Washington Post. The Washington Post said that they picked up this story.
I knew about that. I know about them picking up the story, but continue. Yeah.
They picked up the story and they said, we saw because I posted additionally, I was like, if anyone has been affected directly from not receiving your full gallery, please contact me. And I'm more than happy to do like a quick 30-minute session with you or like just give back because I wanted to give back and I hate that people have experienced this.
Yeah.
The reporter emailed me and was like, hey, I saw your post on Christina's page and I wanted to interview you about a story that I'm doing about her scamming clients. So we were on the phone for like 15 minutes chatting and she said that she will basically put what I said on her Instagram inside of her story. And if there's any affected couples for them to reach out to me.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so I mean, that's a good thing about that.
Yeah. I'm like, it's hard for me with that story because I'm pretty sure there's a fairly large mental health aspect to this.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to comment on it because I don't know for sure, but it seems like from things I've read in multiple places, social media wise, definitely some kind of mental health issue that this person probably should not be running a business.
Okay.
I believe this, I'm maybe pulling this out of my ass, but I think her business was under another name for a while.
I did read
that this exact same thing happened. And then she just basically had a new name and started doing it again. I don't know what the deal is. I'm curious to see what they find out at the Washington Post because I'm sure they're going to do some digging.
Yeah, the reporter was like, I've been investigating this story now for about 3 weeks. And she said that she's tried to contact her husbands. They've all blocked her. She tried contacting the actual business owner and hasn't been able to get through. But
yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's such a crazy story.
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
keep us updated.
Oh, I will.
On how that turns out.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to our first ad read. Now, this really isn't an ad, but more so of a shameless plug. And here we go. So I'm currently offering one-on-one mentorships and coaching sessions for any new photographer that is trying to learn the art of photography, or maybe you're just trying to become a wedding photographer. I want to help you out. So currently right now, if you use the code Dodge and Burn in our inquiry call, I will give you 15% off current coaching sessions. And in this session, we will go over everything from portfolio reviews to questions about the actual art of photography, how to become a photographer, what kind of gear to buy. I mean, the questions you can ask me are limitless. So if you're interested in this, definitely we will put the link to my website in the description below. You can fill out a contact form and I should get back to you within 24 to 48 hours and we can kind of get the ball rolling. So let me know what you guys think and I hope you enjoy the rest of the podcast. Peace.
So I was actually thinking of something recently this week. So I know a lot of photographers advertise on like The Knot, The Wedding Wire, Modern Luxury, but is it actually worth it? And I feel like this is a long debate that people have been like discussing for years. But for you, for someone who has advertised in The Knots, you've advertised in Modern Luxury, you've had weddings published in those magazines, does it actually convert to sales? Like, is it actually worth it? My answer is no.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think that it's definitely person to person.
Okay.
I've never gotten anyone reaching out to me said, I saw your wedding that you shot in this magazine.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's nice to like see your work in print somewhere. I'm talking about if you get a wedding featured in a magazine. That I think
It could be any magazine, right?
any magazine.
Yeah.
That I think is cool.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know.
a milestone.
I don't think it transfers to sales, but what it does do is give you a little bit of street cred in the fact that you can put on your website like as featured in.
Yes.
You know, but a lot of these magazines are pay to play.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
like, I don't know if anyone is aware of this, but Vogue magazine is not scouring the internet for your wedding and finding it and publishing it in there.
And that's actually, that just something just grinded my gears. So this is no shade and no hate to anyone that's published in Vogue. However, I seen like when like photographers will post published in Vogue, and it's like this eeny beeny like little picture. It doesn't even talk about their wedding. It just says photo by XXX photographer.
Yeah, they're generally not big features.
No. But then they blow it up on their Instagram. And like,
Yeah, and to get featured in Vogue, like now this is different. If you're shooting celebrity weddings, sometimes Vanity Fair, I don't know if Vanity Fair does weddings, but I know Vogue does.
or People Mag.
Yeah, but they'll pick it up because it's a celebrity.
Yeah.
Which is different. We have a possible wedding coming up that is probably going to be that
featured.
situation.
Nice.
But that's like a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Like that's hey, get us images by tomorrow so we can put them in the magazine.
Okay.
Most of the other features you see, either the photographer is submitting it being like, this is a really pretty wedding. Do you guys want to feature this?
Okay.
Or they're reaching out and saying, what do I have to pay to get this in your magazine? Which, the celebrity weddings you see in like Vogue, I'm sure are a similar, like they've picked it up before the wedding happens. I know People does that a lot. But the people who are like published in Vogue, like they are paying money for that.
See, I didn't know that actually.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Get that credit card out.
So do you think it's worth spending the, I don't know, $400 or $500 a month to get advertised in these magazines? Is it worth it? Or is it just good to be like, hey, I want to submit my wedding and it could possibly just be featured?
So we don't advertise in print anymore. We don't advertise really anywhere anymore, to be honest with you.
Same.
I think once you get established to a point, it's a lot of word of mouth. But yeah, you know what? Even I was about to say like when you're starting out, maybe, but I don't know people who are looking through those magazines in the section where there's advertisements. Like, I don't know if this is similar to you, but I think we get the most bookings because what's the first thing couples book when they're booking something? The venue.
Yeah.
We are like featured on a lot of different venues, Instagrams.
Yeah.
And what couples do is they'll look at that venue. I love this venue, but then they'll say, oh, I love this photo on that Instagram.
Exactly.
So I've been tagging venues recently and doing the collaborator thing, which has been awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
And we're getting more inquiries from it.
Yeah.
So I would say majority of the time, that's how they're finding, because they've already solidified the one thing they have booked. That's like the easiest place for them to look and see photos they like of the actual place that they're getting married.
And Simon just gave you guys some free games. So essentially, if you're a new photographer or even if you're an established photographer and you hate social media, but you're also lacking in bookings, you're not getting inquiries, that is probably one of the easiest and number one, in my opinion, ways to attract new clients and to build, like you said, relationships with venues is to just post more and then collaborate with them and tag them.
So if you think outside the box, though,
Yeah.
you can use that even if you're not a wedding photographer. I'm going to give someone a shout out right now. I'm in a group chat on Instagram. It's like a Philly street photographer thing. There's a million people in there, and I've really there's like one or two that I'm good friends with.
Okay.
Shout out Jared. You know Jared.
Wood. Jared Wood.
But there's someone else in there, and it's one of the few people I've met. His name's Clifford. Cliff. I don't know if you go by Cliff or Clifford, but his Instagram handle is Big Dumb Animal. And he was saying something. I was like, this is kind of genius. He will bring his camera when he goes out to eat, and he takes like nice photos at the restaurant of like maybe it's the food, maybe it's whatever, and then he'll leave like Google reviews or maybe Yelp. I'm sorry, I forget which one you were saying, but like the places will see his photos on these reviews, and some of them will reach out and be like, "Hey, can you come like take some photos?" Or other people will see it it's a outside of the box way to see for people to see your work, but also he's gotten jobs from it.
Yeah, it's innovative.
I was like,
that's so smart.
I was like, that's like really smart. So,
No, I like that.
Yeah. I'm sorry if I just blew up your spot with giving that away, but I thought that was pretty dope. So.
Hey, there's enough work for everybody,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah. No, that's dope, though.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. As far as advertising in print goes, overarching, I would say no.
Okay.
Submitting weddings that you're proud of to get featured in a magazine, I don't know if you're going to get clients from that, but like one, being able to say as seen in is pretty cool. And like, honestly, I know I talk shit on it, but if you're paying to get published in Vogue, putting that as seen in Vogue is like really fucking cool. Like I get it. I totally get it.
Sure.
So, and I think my opinion on print. Like I think print is the best thing ever. I'm even wearing Indie Film Lab is my like choice place to get all my film developed.
Yeah.
They also have Indie Print Lab.
I've heard of them. Yeah.
But if I'm not printing at home, I'm getting all my prints from them too.
Okay.
Because I love printing my stuff. So I definitely think getting your stuff, seeing your photo for the first time in a published magazine is pretty.
It's just a good feeling.
It's pretty fucking cool, man. Even if you paid for it, it's
It definitely is. But like you said, like, don't let that make you think that, okay, now I'm about to get all these clients. Right. My business is about to blow up. I'm being real with you. It really doesn't translate to that.
And as much as those of you advertising on the Knot think you're getting a lot of inquiries.
That's a whole nother topic.
Some of those might not be real.
Oh man. I actually want to ask you one more thing.
Okay, hit me.
Well, yeah, let me ask you it, even though I know you're not familiar with this too much, but maybe we'll see what you think.
Okay.
So there was, talking about paying to play. So there is a website called bark.com.
You were telling me about this. Okay,
yeah. So bark.com, you essentially will purchase leads. So they will have it's a free platform for any like couple or any person that wants to hire a photographer for an event or a wedding. And they'll be like, hey, I want a photographer for this date. This is the details. And then in order for you to see that lead and to talk to the actual client about it, you have to pay a credit fee. So each credit is like, I think like $5 or $10. And sometimes it'll be like 10, 18 credits to see this lead. Now, I've used it in the past, and I've actually have gotten 2 weddings from it, which at the end of the day does make it worth it.
Sure.
But it isn't like that effective in my opinion, because I think I've spent like $800 and reached out to like so many people about leads, and almost like my success rate on there is like 15%. Like it's not high.
And I feel like the first thing that comes to mind is like those couples are looking for any photographer. Like it's not, maybe when you're first starting out, just to get your feet wet and to actually like get some weddings to shoot. But I think like when you've been doing it as long as we have, what are the chances that lead is going to want the style of photography you provide, want your vibes, and if you're paying to get a lead that there's a decent chance they're not going to be into your style or your price point or your whatever.
It's tricky.
I'm going with a disagree on that.
Oh, you remember from last week?
I do. I remember. We're going to start doing it. We need like signs.
Right.
Definitely disagree.
Right.
Cool, man. I think this was a pretty awesome way to do a 10th episode, man.
Yeah. Well, I know you're trying to hang up on me, but I actually have a hot topic for you. Do you want to talk about it? That's the question.
Always.
Yeah?
Trying to hang up on you. I love that. I'm going to use that from now on. I know you're trying to get out of this conversation right now. I was trying to wrap it up, man. I forgot about the hot button topic.
Yeah. So I've seen this trend happen like pretty often on Instagram, where this actually has turned into actual Instagram ads.
Oh, wow. Where
photographers will post an ad and say, if you're getting married in this destination, I will shoot your wedding for free.
Or what, like Tahiti or like
Zimbabwe.
Fiji.
Right.
That's those places look insanely amazing.
Right. So my question to you is there a location that you would actually shoot someone's wedding for free?
Oh, man. No.